Hello, beautiful people. So going on from yesterday's discussion about worthiness and how patterns, coping strategies or patterns of behavior are put in place because of our because of the of our childhood experiences and feelings of, deep feelings of unworthiness or not enoughness because of our unmet needs. So, and I said that I would give you my own examples so that you can see how, they affect our lives and how they can be overcome, because this is the whole point, right? Is to bring awareness to them and to, integrate them and love them so that they can actually be released. Because basically we have to understand that these coping strategies are defense mechanisms to basically protect us, right? So I had many, and I'm constantly discovering new patterns, and it's, I think it's an ongoing process to discern, to bring awareness and bring consciousness and to actually overcome these patterns, right? So one of my patterns was chasing certification. My coping strategy was because I believe that I was not, I believe that I was stupid, actually. I had dyslexia as a child and I had, some learning difficulties. And so in order to overcome, to kind of prove, to compensate, right, to overcompensate and to prove that I was worthy and that I was, not stupid, I strived for success, as a lot of people do. In fact, it's a very, very common strategy. So I was chasing certifications, degrees after degrees, to prove that I wasn't stupid, and that my gifts and my voice matter. So getting certifications, feeling like I was never adequate, despite the countless honors, degrees, and various other things that I did. I mean, I did holistic massages after my honors in my bachelor honors in Edinburgh University, and then I went on to do a master's and PhD in Greek, I may add. Still, I couldn't believe that I was not stupid. And even having the 4 publications in peer-reviewed journals from my research, and then the ongoing coaching, embodiment, NLP parts work, certifications that have just, kind of built on from that. And it took me a long time to realize, in fact, till the age of about 38, to realize that I didn't that I didn't have to chase these qualifications. Yes, okay, I built a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience, but building the qualifications, because I was trying to prove something, it would have just been so much easier to have realized this and to realize the underlying belief, right, the limiting belief that I was stupid, and upgrade that belief rather than chasing, for 20 years or more certifications, right? So that's just to illustrate that, it just took me so long. I mean, I got it actually when I didn't print out my PhD. I didn't even bother printing my PhD out. That's the lack of respect and, belief in my work. And, I don't put certifications behind me, on my walls and, things like this, because it's like, it's not actually about certification. It was about proving that I was not stupid, right? Which sounds really funny now, but it's true. And I do actually put doctor on my Zoom calls because I have to remind myself that I am a doctor with a PhD in immunology and biomedicine. So, you know, it's a kind of like a reminder that, you know, so there are strategies. That's one strategy that I had, a coping strategy that was overcompensating for a limiting belief that I had. And another one was basically not feeling my rage and my internal strong emotions, and so I was blaming and complaining for my current situation, basically. Was chronically not validating my own emotions, and this is very, very common, especially for men. Well, actually, men and women, but it takes its toll on women even more, I think. And I see this in my coaching practice all the time, that women are just not able to validate their own emotions. And so how can we expect someone else to validate them, you know, with our partners? So I was blaming my partner for not being emotionally aware and not being, you know, there for me with my emotions or my, you know, and I was seething inside. And so, you know, I had always been told as a child that I was too much, that I was too OTT, that I was too bouncy, you know, I used to be called yo-yo. I was too demanding, I was too sensitive, I was too emotional, all of these things that I was told. And so I had a very strong belief that emotions not only don't matter, and not that, you know, I'm too demanding in my you know, exuberance, but also that emotions are manipulative. So I didn't want to, one of my highest values is integrity. So it was very difficult for me to, you know, get that aligned with my needs, right? And express myself without being emotional. And so all of that, those vital energies and all these emotions that I had was feeling, were literally just, you know, bubbling over and up. And so I would get, you know, these emotional outbursts where I would just be a tantruming, you know, woman, you know, well, actually it was my inner child, obviously, tantruming. So desperately wanting to fit in and to have friends and not be feeling this rejection all the time, right? This was a coping strategy, basically, to not feel. And the blaming and the shaming and complaining was also the way that I covered them up, right? So the anger would come out at other people rather than myself. And so, yeah, until it got to the point where I literally couldn't survive anymore. And this is what I'm trying to bring home to you, that there will be a physical response in the body according to these internal pressure that we feel, as coping strategies that no longer are, they're kind of like no longer working, right? And I had this, I had chronic pain for majority of my adult life, and I had a massive flare up in about 2018. Well, actually, it was before that. It was about for about 3 years. And it was a debilitating pain flare up, and I was faced with this internal rage inside, and I started to learn how to take responsibility for my emotions, to soothe my emotions with these beautiful soothing tools, very, very effective, that I have lots of, you know, soothing tools on my YouTube channel that you can have a look at, and they really and soothe my nervous system, because it was always on fight, flight, freeze, and finally stand up for my emotions. So I was able to stop blaming and shaming and complaining about my partner's inability, and, you know, to accept my emotions, because now I was actually accepting them and validating them internally. And the internal fighting and battle that took place was, you know, took a bit of time, but it released. And with that and some other things, the chronic pain that I had was also you know, slowly moving away. I no longer needed it, because it was indicating to me the problem, right? So the internal stresses really wreak havoc on our system. It's literally the emotions that we can't digest and process are literally everything is emotion, everything is energy, emotions are energy in motion. So we really need to understand that this stress, this is a huge internal stressor. And I go on about this a lot, but it's like literally living with the tiger in the cave, right? Because you are the your emotions are the tiger that's causing the triggers all the time. So finding these patterns from your childhood are really, really helpful. You can look at patterns from your childhood in your current relationships, because it's always a mirror of your pattern with your child. Your partnership is always a mirror of your parent relationship, and also with your partner or business colleagues or boss is a very useful way to start looking at patterns and to see where those patterns have kind of gone through a trend, has gone through in those 3 areas of your life. So you can see that, and also, or you will be reminded and constantly our body lets us know when there is internal conflict inside. So you'll be sure about that. And if you need some help, I'm a great I'm very experienced, because I've had a lot of tracking patterns that I've done and coping mechanisms and overcoming them. So I'm an expert in helping people overcome their patterns as well. So reach out to me if you need help with that, so that your body can start to basically calm, soothe, heal, and we can upgrade those patterns so that you can actually lead a more sustainable and self-sufficient and healthy life. So let me know if you need some help with that. I'd be very honored to help. And with that, I will love to leave you and see you next time.